everyone. Let me see if this microphone works, and it appears to. I'm never happy using a microphone, but we are recording this, so I have been instructed that I have no choice but to use this. Can I just ask you all, please, I welcome you all to this event, but just before we start, could I just remind you to switch your mobiles to silent so that we don't have any disturbances during the event. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the Eli and Britt Harari Graphene Enterprise Awards. I'm Lynn Shepherd, I'm Director of the Masood Entrepreneurship Centre, and the Harari Awards are one of our signature programmes. We have a long history of supporting entrepreneurship across all schools and departments across the university, ensuring everyone has the opportunity to develop that all-important entrepreneurial mindset and access entrepreneurship education both on and co-curricular. The Eli and Britt Harari Graphene Enterprise Awards began in 2013, and I was there at the beginning, and I'm here this year, so we've had a successful few years. In fact, the first winner was in 2014, so this really is a decade of the Harari Awards. It has the generous support of alumnus Eli Harari and his wife Britt, in association with our Nobel laureate Professor Sir Andre Geim, and it was that inspiration that started the competition right at the very beginning. And we're delighted to have Eli joining us from the US today, sharing as we award these prizes for our startup businesses that are looking at graphene and 2D materials and where they would have impact in the future. We stage this competition each year to encourage commercially viable business proposals. And since its inception, the award has enabled 16 startup ventures to be established. And almost all of them are still active and growing businesses. And really that is testament both to the university and I think to the centre that has inspired and encouraged them to take those ideas forward. The standard of entries this year has again been incredibly high, and we're going to make awards this evening. First prize is £50,000 and second prize is £20,000. Thank you. I'd like to thank all the judges and all those who have helped support the entrants through this very rigorous and challenging application process. All the winners and finalists will receive ongoing support from across the university, from the wider networks and our partners, to help them take their first steps towards commercializing their early stage ventures. If any of you are posting to your social media, please do tag us. It's at EntrepMCR, so please do tag us if you are using your social media. I'm very pleased now to be able to hand over to James Baker, CEO of Graphene at Manchester, just to tell us a few things about what's happening in Graphene in Manchester at the moment. Thank you very much, James.
So thanks, Lynn, and welcome everybody to the National Graphene Institute here in Manchester. 20 years ago, graphene was first isolated here in Manchester, and we're celebrating here today and tomorrow the 20th anniversary of graphene. Today, welcome back to those who have been in the session all day today. Our theme for the conference is very much academic-fed, but industry-led. So really built on the foundation of the academic work taking place here in the National Graphene Institute, but also the Royce Institute behind me, and then the schools in the University of Manchester. And then we're moving tomorrow to the Graphene Engineering Innovation Centre, which is a more industry application focused day to really celebrate some of the real developments taking place in graphene and 2D material products and application commercialization. So in 20 years, it sounds like a long time for some, but as a new material, 20 years is still relatively young as a new material. But what's really fantastic to see is the progress being made in companies now making graphene not just by the gram, by the kilogram, by the ton, making it from different forms, from graphite, but also from waste materials for this circular economy. A key drive through everything that we do is very much around sustainability. the drive towards net zero. And I think it's great to see the entrance around Eli Harari. We celebrate in the last 10 years, there's been over 56 new startups and spin-outs. To my right here, some of the new entrants for this year, the quality of those, the people, the teams, not just the scientists, but bringing in the business school, bringing in the broader non-material science. And for me, what's exciting is it's not just about startups, it's about scale-ups. What we want is not just a startup company, we want those companies to scale. And the progress that they're making. Manchester isn't just about the academic, but today we still continue to hear about papers, publications. For those in the audience today, we're talking about twisted electronics. Again, you've got to really start thinking about that, but the opportunities in the future that can provide for electronics are huge. But we're also been talking about things like concrete. Reduce the amount of cement in our construction, that'd make a huge impact on global change. Anyone who's going to the barbecue this evening would wish we had a little bit more sun in Manchester, but we don't want so much sun that we start ending up with droughts and other climate change that's affecting the world at the moment. So again, graphene, 2D materials can play a real difference in addressing some of the climate change challenges. So really pleasure to be here today, both from the academic side, and most of the entrants actually come through the academic institutes of the University of Manchester, but for me they've now got choices. Choices around the academic career, but also around those startups, those new businesses, and how we with some of the, not just the winner, but the entrants, both this year and in previous year, to see how we accelerate that. So really looking forward to hearing from the rest of the stories and looking forward to seeing the winners, but you're all winners from this year's competition. Thank you.
Thanks very much, James, and thank you for the kind words as well about the contribution that the Harari Awards have made to this pipeline of startup businesses for the region. I'm delighted now, I hope, to be able to welcome our sponsor, I suppose, of this award, Dr. Eli Harari. So I'm hoping that Eli is going to be zooming in to us. I'm delighted to welcome him, alumnus, entrepreneur, and generous supporter of the Harari Awards. Eli pioneered many breakthroughs in flash memory. He established SanDisk in 1988, which grew to generate over $3 billion in annual revenues. And we hope that maybe some of these startups that we're bringing to the fore today will also have that sort of success. So Eli, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, because you truncated a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, I'm Eli Harari. I received my bachelor's degree in physics at Manchester 55 years ago. So, but I want to thank Lynn and Professor Baker and Dr. Vivek Konchari. You can hear me, right? Can you hear me? Okay. And Professor Luke Gorchu and all the other people that made this possible. A lot of work has gone into this, I'm sure. And to all the participants of this year's Enterprise Awards, you are now officially entrepreneurs. You're joining a very special class of dreamers, risk takers, and future visionaries. More than ever before, our world needs more people like you, people that aspire to change the world for the better. We are all lucky to be associated with Manchester's pioneering leadership in graphene, and we are just scratching the surface with this huge possibilities for a really miraculous element. Graphene sometimes feels to me like the beginning of a second industrial revolution, a deja vu all over again for Manchester. And you guys have a front row seat in this entrepreneurial journey. I want to say just a few words about AI, artificial intelligence, because everybody is talking about AI. But I want to specifically as it relates to graphene. So for those of you who follow NVIDIA and companies like that, AI requires unprecedented amounts of computing, which in turn requires enormous memory capacities, computation with very low latency, very wide bandwidth, requiring and generating thousands of watts of power, energy, and tremendous amount of heat. It's a real problem that is actually going to be a major impediment for AI in the future. This is where graphene can come in with its amazing electrical and thermal conductivity. There's no question that there's that technology, that capability will be highly welcomed by the semiconductor industry. And we're talking about new markets for graphene and for this very high bandwidth memory. Huge opportunities. We're talking about trillions of dollars. If you don't believe that, NVIDIA, who is the leader in AI, was valued at about $200 billion a year and a half ago. $200 billion, which is a lot. They're now worth $3 trillion. 3 trillion. That's not billion, that's not gigabit, that's terabit. And they're just at the beginning. Everybody's chasing them. So this is a new frontier, AI, and I believe that graphene can play a very significant enabling role. And that's really, so I just want to say, in general, my advice to you, the young entrepreneurs, is on the one hand, think big. Don't, if you want to change the world, you have to think big, but also understand your limitations. It's okay to talk about thinking big, but if there's a misfit between what you want to achieve and what is realistically possible, it's just going to be a lot of frustration. So anyway, I'm very proud of this award and the work that you guys have done. I want to thank you all, and I want to wish you all good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Eli. Thank you, Eli, so much for your supportive comments, for your very generous support of the Harari Award, and also for inspiring us all to want to do more, to make a difference, make a dent in the universe. And let's hope that some of these startups today will make that veritable dent in the universe. Thank you so much. Goodbye for now. Enjoy the day in hopefully sunny California. It's slightly cloudy, dull Manchester, but at least it's not raining.
It's very hot here.
A little warmer here.
Yeah, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Not that hot. maybe we'll settle for the cloudy, chilly afternoon we have here as we get ready. We're going to have a barbecue after this, so yeah. Hope the rain stays off. Thank you so much, Eli.
Yes, my pleasure.
So it's my great pleasure now to introduce Vivek Konchari, Harari Award winner in 2021, the CEO of Graphene Innovations Manchester. He's leveraging graphene technology to address global sustainability challenges. And last year signed somewhat a game-changing partnership deal of $1 billion. So excited to see where that goes. And recently I did read that you have been dubbed Manchester's answer to Elon Musk. So no pressure, Vivek, but we're expecting a lot from you. So Vivek, can I hand the microphone to you?
Thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you. I'm part of Manchester University, one form or another, for last 24 years. So I've been here for a very long time. I started with my undergrad, and worked in industry for a few years, then come back to Manchester. I started my MPhil. When I was doing my MPhil, I mean, in Manchester it's fairly easy to get funding to do a PhD. So Bentley Car Company funded a PhD. Before I finished, I got a postdoc job. Manchester is good for entrepreneurship. In addition, it's very good for teaching as well. I mean, in business, in material science, this is like a big thing. And few years ago, I was still working at the uni as a postdoc, and with the help of Graphene Center, I commercialized my first product, that was end-of-life car tires recycled into a floor mat. Because the reason I selected floor mat was sometimes if you make some high-performance materials, regulations become a barrier. So I thought something simple which can bring to the market really fast. So that's why I selected that. Then I was still working at uni, and one day I thought I should make a space station. You know, I graduated from floor mats to space station, and I pitched. Luke was there, James, Lynn, everybody was there. I pitched my idea to make a space station for people to live in outer space, and I won the competition. I mean, then it got one of the wealth fund's attention, and they asked me, how much fund do you need to make a space station? I said to them directly, if I get 1.275 billion, I can get started. So I mean, the top people, they were okay with it, but the problem with the finance people was they want to see revenues and profit. And they said to me, think of something. I mean, space station will take at least 10 years to generate any revenue. Tell us something short term that can generate revenue and profit that will lead to a space station. So I thought for some time, and I told them, okay, space station is a pressure vessel. You can make hydrogen tanks with it. It's also a pressure vessel. They said, that's a good idea. That's investable. Then they said, keep going. Then I said, oh, if you want to build anything on Moon or Mars, you can't use cement or water. You need cement-free concrete. They said that is also investable. Then, I mean, they did not invest at that time. Then I spent on back of the winning Eli Harari competition, I raised nearly $1 million from US and Canada, and I spent nearly 1 year developing lots of patents, products. I mean, with the help of Graphene Center, and Masood Enterprise Center was also helping with the business side of things. So it was always a collaborative effort. I wouldn't say I did anything myself. I mean, I have a lot of people, like, including Manchester Uni, behind me supporting. So I was never a startup, because a $1 billion institution is supporting any help I need. So it was fairly easy. And today, I'm still working on the long-term vision of space. Key focus in the company is mainly on hydrogen concrete. So if you ask me today, what do? I say I develop products using graphene that solve global problems. It could be climate change, it could be water shortage, plastic pollution. I mean, one thing I do is I'm not a graphene producer. I solve problems using graphene. I make products, and that solves a problem. I mean, when you work in Manchester, one of the key things is sustainability, planet, people. So these are the key things drilled in when you are studying and being part of Manchester. And one thing I do is I create compounds that solve a problem. then I also make robots that can scale the solution. I don't do fundamental research. I make products that are closer to the market. Then I use AI to mainly for quality control and upskilling, because the biggest challenge when you use graphene in commercial sector is you need highly skilled people to do this. So, but with the ChatGPT kind of interface, transformer architecture, you can use AI for quality control and upskilling the workforce. So in this case, if you use AI, it will create new jobs. Sometimes we feel that AI takes away job. It's true, but it also creates new jobs in advanced materials. Only with AI we can make most of the products commercially viable. Last year I signed a $1 billion deal in UAE, and the good news is in the next two weeks, the first production of the graphene fiber line will go live. And that factory will have a capacity of 1,000 tons in the next 12 months. Before even I made the factory, the customers are lining up to take the entire production. So there are, graphene is very real. My first products were simple, but there are high performance products. People are willing to buy the whole factory outputs. So now is a good time to enter graphene, and there are large customers available, because sometimes the problem is you need really large customers who can buy all your products. And so one thing for new startup people, one thing I did in my company was Graphene Innovations Manchester. I call it a product development company. I do not raise much funding in that company, because if you keep raising early on as a startup, if you raise a lot of funding, your valuation is really low, you dilute the company really fast, and you will lose control of your company very fast. So normally I bootstrap as far as you can, and then create subsidiaries and joint ventures, and there you raise the funding. So you keep the control of the company. Also, you don't want to lose the company's control early on. Later, eventually you could, when you do IPO or something, or exit or whatever, you could lose that control. Where are we today? Eli Harari funding was about 50,000. The top company where I develop the products, I have multiple companies now that investors are investing at more than 130 million in the top core, and subsidiaries I'm about to get it valuated by one of the big four about $1 billion. So I want to be a unicorn in the next 12 months. Eli Harari is that 50,000 all the way. Sometimes small funding can take a long way when you have Manchester University, Masood Enterprise Center, Geek, all backing you. That it's not about that small funding. You have probably billions worth of resources backing. So I hope to see many, many unicorns in the coming year. Thank you.
Wow, follow that. Goodness me. You are amazing, and you have grown so much in confidence over the years. We're very proud of you. And it's now, again, a great pleasure for me to hand the microphone to last year's winner. Please don't expect him to be quite as far on as Vivek, but I'd really like to introduce Liam Johnson. He is a current PhD student here at the university, and his business, Mouseable, is an on-skin wireless ECG monitor for laboratory mice. So let me hand over now to Liam, who will just tell you where he's got to with his business startup.
Fantastic, thank you so much. That was so inspirational. Gosh, Vivek. It fills you with optimism when you hear stories like that. So like Eli Harari says, you've got to think big. I was asked to give a 5-minute speech, so I did make some notes. But let me just start by saying what an excellent event this has been. Even before this, just seeing the sort of advances which have been made in graphene, especially when we're looking at flexible and electronics, is astonishing, sort of the applications which are out there. But anyway, it's great to be here, and I just thought, I just wanted to say that this is an amazing celebration of innovative ideas, and also that the celebration of relentless energy, which is causing us to build the future. About a year ago, I was overwhelmed with gratitude and excitement, having been awarded £50,000 to launch my company, Mouseable. A lot has happened since then, and I'm absolutely thrilled to share the journey which this has enabled. Mouseable was really born from a belief that advanced materials and electronics could revolutionize animal research and minimize suffering in the lab. The generous award I received last year has finally allowed me to turn this idea into something tangible. For the first time, we are developing a non-invasive technology for monitoring small animal electrophysiology, which will reduce the need for surgical procedures and improve the quality of preclinical science overall. Before receiving the award, I worked on this problem for almost half a decade, often unpaid, often in overtime, in my own time. My friends really didn't understand what I was doing, and they still think I'm a little bit mad. And it was, but I've got to say, it was something which I found it very easy to commit to. It was an exciting technical challenge, it was a moral imperative, and also I knew that there was a market there. With the award funding, I've been able to accelerate the product development, tap into state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities, and also apply 2D materials towards solving novel challenges in biosensing. But let's not forget, innovation isn't just about the product. It's about scale, research, and impact. This award didn't just fund a prototype, it kicked down doors and provided space for me to consider a much bigger picture, applying the technology to new species, looking at new applications, and exploring new industries. More than the materials and the machines, the journey has introduced me to a network of extraordinary people. They say that you can't do it alone, and they are right. I've been able to work with top-tier talent in electronics, materials, bioscience, marketing, and finance. Moreover, working with such driven and passionate individuals has had a profound impact on my growth and development as a leader. To all those nominees tonight, I congratulate you on your hard work, creativity, and determination. We need enthusiastic, vision-driven people like yourselves, as Eli Harari has said. Those of you which dare to dream and have the guts to execute their vision, you really do deserve to be commended. And I guess just to share some of the main takeaways that I've drawn from the last year which might resonate with your own path. 1, trust your instincts and act decisively. Don't underestimate the opportunity cost which entertaining doubt has on your path. Don't panic. Nothing erodes business acumen more than panic. There's nothing wrong with having a contingency plan. Develop an undeniable understanding of the big picture and also the technical details. You really want to be surrounded by smart and brutally honest people who can flag and challenge any misconceptions you have and weaknesses. Thank you once again for this incredible opportunity. Here's to the future, filled with groundbreaking innovations. Keep dreaming, keep pushing, and never settle for anything less than extraordinary.
Thanks very much, Liam. Thanks very much. So no pressure, guys, for this year's finalists. We're now getting close to announcing this year's award winners. So please let me introduce Professor Luke Giorgio, Deputy President and Deputy Vice Chancellor and Chair of our judging panel, who will announce this year's winners. Before we do that, I think we have a short film. If things go according to plan, we have a short film of the 4.
Hi, I am Chen Chen, CTO of Solar Ethos. We are developing next-generation thin-film solar technology to tackle global warming and the energy crisis, helping the UK to achieve the net zero target by 2050. Our thin-film solar cell combines cutting-edge perovskite technology with graphene coatings, making it flexible, lightweight, semi-transparent, and highly efficient. Unlike traditional silicon solar panels, our technology is also more suitable for portable and alternative markets. More importantly, our technology can be integrated with the existing silicon solar panels to enhance their sunlight absorption and generate more electricity.
I am Hifza, co-founder of green tech company Fabstech Limited. Our mission is to generate sustainable and renewable energy products to reduce environmental pollution and meet net zero emission target. We are developing an innovative graphene-based fab energy harvester for self-charging vehicles. Nowadays, the world is shifting toward electrified mobility to reduce pollution cast by petroleum fuel and to provide an alternative fuel for transportation sector. However, the traveling range and charging process are two major issues which are affecting their adoption our conventional vehicles. Fortunately, Fab Energy Harvester offers an alternative charging solution which doesn't rely on big batteries and expensive infrastructure. Instead, it directly and efficiently harvests power from wind while driving on the road.
Hello, I'm Darren.
And I'm Mas. We are founders of EcoTarTech, pioneering eco-friendly, sustainable carbonaceous materials to combat climate change. Battery technology plays a crucial role in the fight against climate change, with lithium-ion battery leading the charge. However, there's a dark side. Did you know that around 90% of the anode in these batteries is made of unsustainable and/or fossil fuel-derived carbon? At EcoTarTech, we are on a mission to disrupt this blind spot by introducing a sustainable synthetic alternative.
By utilizing biomass waste from wood processing and incorporating graphene, we are able to control the formation of a soft carbon that is not only net negative, but also maintains the high performance standards required in battery anode application. By replacing the non-sustainable carbon materials traditionally used with our eco-friendly solution, we can significantly reduce the carbon footprint of battery manufacture.
Composite materials are increasingly used in aircrafts and wind turbines. Because of their recyclability, thermoplastic composites are starting to replace thermoset composites. However, composites are susceptible to impact damage, such as from bird strikes or hailstorms, and detecting such damage remains a significant challenge. In this project, I designed thermoplastic grid sensors using carbon-based nanoparticles like graphene and carbon nanotubes for composites. Embedding these sensors into recyclable thermoplastic composites transforms them into smart composites. This allows for damage detection through both resistance changes and thermal cameras. Additionally, these sensors enable an automatic self-healing feature using AI, and the system also offers an anti-icing capability.
Challenges: sustainability, health, food and water, energy, critical materials, the list goes on. And the massive inventiveness of our students, postdocs and alumni have turned their minds to face these challenges. Doing the maths of the years, I mean, this is, the building is celebrating the 20th anniversary of the isolation of graphene. This competition has run for exactly half of that time, so we're seeing quite a quick movement into application, quicker than for most materials, I think it's true to say. There's a bigger anniversary going on as well. It's our university's bicentenary. And if we go back and look at that history, this city was built on the technological exploitation of a material, cotton, and all the machinery that went with it. That miserable weather out there was brilliant for cotton, so at least there's one advantage to it. So the city was at that time called Cottonopolis, In the early days of graphene, we were musing with the idea of, is this going to be Graphenopolis? Well, I think we have to wait a few years to know whether that's going to happen. But what we do know is that it's our duty to build an ecosystem to support the development of graphene. And we're doing our best to do that, but the more companies enter it, the more people gain the necessary skills, move from one to another, the more this will be the world capital for graphene. Let me come now to the judges. You've seen two of them already, Lynn herself, James Baker. I was one of them, but I will just mention two more who made an equally valuable contribution. Jess McCready from Northern Gritstone and Gareth Jones from the Innovation Factory. We applied the criteria that you would expect. We wanted to see a value proposition, a technology that relied on the properties of graphene, and of course a sensible pathway and use of the prize money. So taking all of those criteria, all of the entrants scored well against them, but in the end we have to make decisions, and the decisions were, first of all, for the second prize of £20,000, this goes to Fabsticks. Congratulations. There's a picture. And so we come to the first prize, and let me take it and not drop it. The winner of the first prize is Solar Ethos. Congratulations.
No, it's okay.
So, yes.
Perfectly up. Just come closer in. So you're bringing closer. We're going to just
Why
put
don't
your hand
come-
ever so
yes.
slightly and then closer in. That's perfect. Perfect.
Everybody looking right down the camera for me, nice and smiling. A bit bigger smiles, and again.
Well done, everybody.
So congratulations all. I don't have a checkbook with me, but the money will follow.
Thank you so much, Luke. Let me offer my congratulations to Solar Ethos and Fabsticks, and of course the other two finalists as well. You will continue to get support. Your journey does not stop here, it goes on. And perhaps maybe you should just make it so successful that you can say you made the wrong decision on that day. So best of luck for all of you. And I'm sure we'll be hearing much more about all of you in the future. Thank you. I know Eli is no longer with us on the Zoom, but thank you, Eli and Britt, for your continued generous support, and to Professor Sir Andre Guyon for his inspiration in creating the competition to support young researchers. In addition, Luke and James, you've always been great supporters of the competition and of MEC on this campus and beyond. And of course, our previous winners, Vivek and Liam. It was fantastic to hear you talk today, and again, I wait to see how your success grows in the future. I'd like to thank all the judges as well, Luke, those on the shortlisting panel, as well as on the final judging panel, Luke, James, Jess and Gareth. Your support and involvement was exemplary. Really, it's so important to have you on the judging panel. And a special thank you as well this year to Scott Dean, a previous winner of the Harari Award, who helped to deliver the award this year. And of course the MEC team, media services, who have worked so hard to deliver this event today, and our media company, Bourne, who film our events and activities and help us retain the profile of our activities across campus. Thank you very much. We can now draw these awards to a close. Please join us on the roof, if it's not raining, for a networking barbecue. And thank you so much for joining us today.